Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. So the Sixers lose game one of the season in Milwaukee. They competed. They worked hard. They made runs. They had the lead late. You thought maybe they could steal it. Then Dame time happened, and Milwaukee showed you why they go out and make a splash to get someone that lethal. It was a very frustrating game because the referees sucked. The ball did not slip out of the hands of Giannis. The Bucks challenged a call. They overturned it. It was so damn sloppy by the referees. It ruined the mojo of what could have been an exciting finish where these NBA athletes go ball out with the game on the line. Instead, it was the zebra show. It sucks. It completely robbed us of a moment. With that said, there seems to be a lot of optimism around the city because of knowing they are down a man. And in regards to the James Harden thing, I haven't really shared my opinion on it for a little bit of time because, well, we're kind of stuck. And two, I was dealing with the Phillies postseason run. But now that we're in winter sports mode, my opinion on it is we have to wait. There's nothing else I can scream about. The guy shows up for the plane, then they send him back to Camden so he can get his body right, get in shape, be prepared since he wasn't with the team for a little bit of time. I think he's doing this in sort of a facetious way where he's pretending he will commit and he wants to be there, but then he shows up when he knows he's not supposed to show up. And, you know, it's a very mentally draining James Harden experience at this point. But let's put that aside for a second because, like I said, we're kind of in no man's land. And until the Clippers are willing to put in a role player like Terrence Mann, for some reason that's holding things back. I have no idea where this goes, but in regards to the game itself, there seems to be optimism because of the way the team looked. Oubre balled out. Springer had some nice athleticism showing and made an awesome electric block at the backboard. He got up there big time. Maxey put on a show. Tobias Harris had a good day. He went 8 of 9 from the field, didn't miss 1 3. He finished with 20 points on the box score. I did have some PTSD with P.J. Tucker in the corner, and there would be looks, and whether he had the ball in his hands or didn't have the ball in his hands, I just automatically went back to last season and remembered how brutal it was at times. But you got to remember that he shows up in the postseason. He's not a regular season guy anymore, all right? But you saw Nick Nurse throw around different rotations that maybe you wouldn't have seen under Doc Rivers. I get the optimism with the compete level and with Maxey's growth and all that. There is a part of me, though, and I can't run away from this, and I'm kind of shocked that I'm sitting here, and by no means, I want to make this very clear, by no means am I saying that this automatically will happen, or I'm projecting this saying it's a no-brainer lock, because I don't feel that way. It does remind me a little bit, and I know that things can change. I'm saying it again. It can change. Nick Nurse is implementing a whole new system, an entirely new scheme. You have no idea who's going to be on your roster once James Harden's gone. I will say Tyrese Maxey did perform very well, not turning the basketball over, having a nice amount of assists to go with his scoring. Maybe we find something here with him and the ball in his hands. I've always said I don't see him as a natural point guard, and I think with that position, you either have it or you don't. And whether he had the ball in his hands previously in his career or not, it's different in the NBA, especially in the postseason. It's game 1 of 82, so the up and down pace and the back and forth, and you saw how quickly they were getting up and down the court. It's a totally different beast with the ball in your hands when it all slows down. We've been through that exercise a million times with Ben Simmons, so it's just something that, unfortunately, with this team, because it's all about can you win when it matters most, this whole 50-plus win regular season, I'm doing my best, and I know I will recalibrate my head a little bit here because I am going to enjoy the journey with Nick Nurse. I'm very thrilled to see him on a night-to-night basis. I'm excited to watch him on the sideline, so I know you can't fast forward. You have to embrace these games because that's all you have, and as sports fans, if we shut it off until spring, then what are we doing here? I enjoy the sport too much to do that, but deep down there is a corner of my mind that sort of packages all of this up, and it's sitting there knowing that eventually all of these talking points will be legitimate and be more serious and be a part of, okay, can we get to that next round finally, or are we continuing to bang our head against the wall with second round exits? As optimistic as some are, there's a part of me that almost thought that looked the same. Joel Embiid turned the basketball over. That pass late, it's inexcusable. At this rate, he's been around for so damn long, you got to know you can't do that. Now, Joel's not in rhythm yet. You thought maybe to start that second half and to make that push and for them to kind of crack back at it. I had no idea how they were even involved. Really, I do. The answer is Oubre. Oubre was cooking, and he was making everything. But there's also a part of me, and I hate being this negative, and I don't want to be this negative. I don't want to be at all. But I just feel like Oubre, there's a reason why he signed when he signed, for how much he signed for. There's a definition of who he is around the league. Sure, he could put up points, and the team has never looked like this before. You know, I saw a lot of takes that this is the deepest the Sixers have ever been. I'm not doing that right now. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that right now. All right, we know by the end of this thing, we'll probably be discussing how bad the bench is. Like last year, we were like, this team's so deep. This team is so deep. The Anthony Melton, this and that. And then by the end of it, it's, oh, they got no bench. And, oh, they have no depth. So I'm just not going to that extreme yet. Oubre doesn't scream winning player to me. Awesome night. Awesome night. He's going to flirt those games in there. That's why he averages the points that he averages, and he hangs around in this league. But there's also a reason why he was hanging around late again. I don't know why I feel this way, because they did show grit tonight. They did play hard. At the same time, part of the reasons why this team has never been able to succeed is because of some of the things I saw with Joel, and I love Joel to death, but these turnovers and the basketball lane, it's like, what do? You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that, Joel. You can't be doing that. And doesn't this team always do this? They battle with the Celtics. They work extremely hard against the Milwaukee Bucks. And in years past, prior to Damian Lillard being there, I actually liked their matchup against Milwaukee with the size and the way they could defend Giannis that other teams can, and Joel Embiid defensively, which he did show some highlights of that. The block, all right, the block and the wag of the finger, that's special stuff. And as he continues to play more games and he gets back into the conditioned Joel Embiid, he'll go through his spurts where he drops 45 and he gives you 42 and 17, and I'm going to love every single second of it. I'm heading into the season, obviously, though, with some negative thoughts because I'm human. I'm a Philadelphia 76ers fan, and they have a lot to prove. Now, you know, there's also a side of that where I think it might be good because the expectations are so low now, there's nowhere else to go. But either you're matching my expectations, which is they just continue to be 76ers, or they're better. You know, and they have this level of fire inside of them to prove all of us wrong that are continuing to say things like this. Do you hear the noise? Do you hear what they're saying? You know, we are better than this. We are better than what they're giving us credit for, and they go out there and they show it on the hardwood. It is very possible. It looked the same to me, though. And it's game one of an entirely new head coach, an entirely new system, a new scheme, new things defensively, new philosophies, new offensive philosophies, all of it. New pace. It's completely different. They don't know how to close, though. And Embiid's sloppiness relates to why they don't know how to close. And I'm not claiming I want him gone. I'm not claiming I want to trade him. I love Joel Embiid. I'm going down swinging with him, and I'm taking every single crack at it with Joel Embiid and hoping that Nick Nurse, as time progresses, that he can filter through some of that sloppiness with Embiid and clean it up a bit. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. You know, it sucks. It does suck that I feel this way because before tip-off, I actually felt better. And then I watched the game and I feel worse. But it seems like everybody else felt worse before tip-off, then watched the game and then convinced themselves that it was going to be better. To me, I thought I was watching the same exact style of basketball again. Not in regards to coaching and scheme, but in regards to you were there, you had it, and then you didn't have it. Referees played a factor for sure. I don't know. Who was it during the offseason or during training camp that said, was it Daniel House that mentioned Doc Rivers? And, this guy knows how to coach. Doc Rivers didn't throw shade at Doc. Was it Daniel House? I knew it was a role player. Doc always gets the blame for everything. The offense had the league leader in assists and got Joel Embiid to an MVP and a scoring title by figuring out how to have him operate from the nail. To say Doc Rivers is a bum, Doc Rivers doesn't know this, Doc Rivers doesn't know that. Not that this is probably the story for today. That was long time ago. But it stayed with me that, first of all, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you, Daniel House, to make those comments? Who the hell are you? Now, Paul George has said things in the past. Plenty of guys have. Doc is not perfect by any means, but the bashing he gets sometimes cracks me up when he had his offense, who was apparently getting ripped by a Daniel House, to have the league leader in assists and the MVP and having Joel Embiid play the most efficient basketball of his life, scoring the basketball. What are we doing here? I just want to make sure it was him as I go on that. Yeah, he throws shade at Doc. October 4th. That was October 4th? That was this month? Or maybe that article went, no, October. Yeah, oh, wow, October 4th. Wow. This month, huh? I don't even know what time is anymore. I do know, though, that there's a lot of Sixers games that are going to be popping here in South Philadelphia, and you would be a fool not to get yourself down to the center. And what if I told you if you bought tickets and you spent over $100 for a pair of tickets or so, you can utilize promo code BROADS at TickPick for $10 off. I'm handing you $10 off. Hey, go down, watch some hoops, go check out Maxey, go see Embiid swat people and swat the ball into the crowd, go see Springer, make something happen, right? Let's go to TickPick and get yourself tickets right now. The beauty about it, they are so confident about their prices. They have the best price guarantee, meaning their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. They're so confident they guarantee it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, they give you 110. Sorry, I always say 100, right? But 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit, and it's upfront pricing, so you don't have to do math to worry about, well, what's going to get hit when I end up hitting checkout. No. The price you see is the price you pay at checkout, period. So make sure you get yourself to a game soon. Okay. Maxey, 31, 0 turnovers, 8 assists. Hey, how about we hit our free throws? Does anybody like the free throw game? They're free. Take them. Make them. Let's see what their actual percentage was after the game was over. 118 to 117. I hate seeing that on the box score afterwards. Ew, it's gross. They shot 68% from the line. Now, Milwaukee shot 69% from the line, but 19 of 28. Now, I did hear this argument, and you could say it's fair, possibly. Joel Embiid will get it together. So if everything else stays the same and Joel Embiid becomes sharper, which you know over time will organically happen, and I don't disagree with that at all, then there's a lot of good signs to hold your hat on. For sure. For sure. But, and we've seen Tobias Harris a lot, what are the odds Tobias Harris doesn't miss a three? What are the odds he shoots 8 of 9 from the field, so does excellent and doesn't miss anything more than one shot all night long? So that needs to happen too. Maxey having 0 turnovers needs to happen too. Every game is so different, it's hard to fully justify it with that, but there's truth to it. If Embiid doesn't turn it over as much. And once he realizes how teams are going to defend him and they throw a couple different bodies his way, he just gets used to it and sees it over and over again. He'll get into rhythm of finding his teammates. And, you could see that there's some miscommunication out there from both sides. Lopez is running into his own teammate, but then still drilling a three. He got fouled by his own teammate. Now, speaking of fouls, I'm watching good defense, and Damian Lillard pops his head back, and he double clutches his feet up in the air, and he drills a three, and one. What are we doing here? The whistle doesn't get blown until he's already coming down from his jump shot. Absolute disgrace. It was so tragic that we basically got robbed of what could have been a super exciting finish in Milwaukee. We did. Dame time is something else, though, and every time I see someone as talented as Dame in the clutch, I think how we don't have that. And I'm an Embiidman. I am. I'm an Embiidsman. I'm a big Embiidsman. He's shown over the years, though, while he can close out games, we need help. We need help, especially out by the perimeter. And is Maxey that to an NBA championship level? I hate this. I'm sorry, because I should not be doing that. I'm going to absolutely, I promise you, I won't be like this all year. I'm going to enjoy basketball. I'm going to find a time to take deep breaths, to hit Sixers therapy, and recognize there's 81 more of these. And you're not going to go through December and January and February and think negatively of this team. You have to remove the past. Sort of like, when somebody does something wrong to you and they apologize and you accept their apology, but you don't forget. So you accept the apology, but you always remember what they did, but you're willing to move on. So you don't hold a grudge, but it's back there. That's how I'm going to have to do this Sixers season. And I can't believe that this is my tune today. I really can't. Because before the game started, I actually put out an in or out on Twitter asking the fan base how they were feeling about the Sixers. And I even voted on the poll that I'm in on the Sixers tipping the ball off tonight. There was some excitement for me to just watch hoops again. Maybe it was a defensive mechanism because I'm so broken from the Phillies that this is an alternative that can get my mind off of what happened. I don't know. But here was my in or out, and here was the results. In or out with the brotherly love. That's their hashtag on Twitter. You still enjoy the Sixers. 750 votes right now. 65% said out, 35% said in. I was a part of the 35%. Now, here are some of the comments. I hate their previous failures, but I'm not just going to count them out before the season even starts. Fair enough. This is from Jack. Once I be real with myself about what they realistically will do in May, yeah, I think I will enjoy them. So you're saying you're setting the bar to a certain point and not overhyping them? That's kind of how I read that, where you're not claiming that they'll be this juggernaut, this championship caliber team, so you'll know they're just a good team that will get knocked out in the postseason, and then you'll just enjoy them from there, unless I'm reading that the wrong way. Dave says, meh. If it's on, I'll watch. I'm not exactly rushing home to watch them, though. Happy about Nick Nurse. Okay. Ronnie says, I think it's just poor timing and a bad time to ask this. Fair enough. Luke says, unfortunately, I'm back in. Some of these comments are funny. Ryan says, completely out until Harden is traded. Wake me up in a few months. As of now, hell nah. That's from Edgewood. Okay. All right. I'm just giving you the pulse. It's a wide range of emotions right now from this team. And I have a wide range of emotions when thinking about HelloFresh, and they're all positive, baby. I mean, I'm excited, I'm crying in joy, I'm thrilled, I'm enamored. It's all great stuff. And what if I told you that I can help you out with the crazy schedule that sometimes make you fall back from your dinner time recipe rut? You can keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. There's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. I'm the chef now in this house. It wasn't that way for a long period of time, but once my wife got pregnant, I said, you relax, I'll take care of the cooking duties. And when I tell you I'm having a blast, and all these recipes, they're so damn delicious. All right, and they're also cheaper than eating out. HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout. So that means you get an easy home-cooked meal on the table and money back in your pocket. And they drop it right off at your house. It's pre-portioned. It comes along with step-by-step pictured details and recipes, so you just follow along. It takes 5 minutes to prep it, 15 minutes to cook it, zucchini boats, flatbread pizza, all sorts of things, man. It's outside-the-box stuff that I realized I was constantly eating the same things every single week. It got boring. Now, there's so many different options, and it's so unique to me because, like I said, it would just be, hey, chicken, rice, green beans. Well, I'm bored of that. Let's spice it up a bit. HelloFresh, if I told you I got you 50% off and free shipping by utilizing the promo code 50BROADS at checkout, I mean, it's America's #1 meal kit. Join the HelloFresh family. You'd be a fool not to. All right, let's run to some Anytime Hotline stuff. I'll start with a text message here. It says, what's going on, Broads? Rough loss to take today, but I didn't expect us to play this tough today. Obviously, when watching, you need to win that game. Didn't like the foul calls late. I understand that. He thought that Nick Nurse did very well. He thought that Embiid needs more help, though, and needs more pieces around him. I agree with that. I also think Joel Embiid played sloppy. You want less Danny Green. I forgot Danny Green was even on this basketball team. The dude's 73 years old, still kicking it. When he's playing defense, all I think about was how at one point in his career, he was actually known as a nice, solid defender. Yeah, back in 1962. The fact he's still running around is crazy. But yeah, Nick Nurse will definitely experiment with some of these lineups, and we'll see wonky ones. We'll see some. I saw the first run by Paul Reed. Was it his first run? I think it was his first run. Was it his first run when he first got off the bench? Not the smoothest. Not the smoothest. But I'm still excited to see what Paul Reed becomes this year under Nick Nurse. There's a lot of hype for him to generate a role on this roster. We'll see how that goes. But all right, that's a text here. I like to flirt them in once in a while, but we'll take some of the actual audio calls now.
You know what? I actually found that game for the Sixers very encouraging. I mean, Embiid didn't even play well. Maxey looked a little rushed at times, but overall, their pieces that come off the bench are so much better this year than in years past. You don't have to run out a Shake Milton or a George. I mean, George Niang wasn't bad, but you get a guy off the bench like Kelly Oubre who can legit score 30 points on a given night. And their defense was amped, but I mean, they get Harden back, and he's pretty decent. I really do like what Nick Nurse is doing.
I don't know if I can go on the, hey, James Harden will be willing to play for this basketball team legitimately. If you get him for a few games before he gets traded, whatever. But, you know, I already have it written out in my head that he's no longer going to be here, which then changes the dynamic of who you have. And maybe your depth at that point actually becomes firm and becomes solid. But I'm going to hold off on the Oubre thing because I think he's going to be one of those players that have the ability to cook and have the ability to let it fly and stroke it, right? And he dropped, what was it? What did he finish with today? Was it 20? It was 27 off the bench, hitting 5 threes. He was 9 of 11 from the field, 32 minutes off the bench. I bet you there's going to be nights where he goes 2 for 15, and he's annoying because he's taking a bunch of shots that are ill-advised, and instead of in flow of the offense, he's just jacking stuff up that doesn't make much sense. I don't think you're getting this level of consistency all year long, or else he would be picked up by another team and he wouldn't be where he was when Daryl Morey made the phone call to get him. So I think he definitely has an upside, no doubt about it, and he has the ability to give these nights for you, but I don't think he's a consistent off-your-bench 27 points in 32 minutes kind of guy, and I don't know if I'm committed to this bench yet. Danny Green is super old. I don't think we're going to love him all year long. In his 14 minutes, he took 1 shot. Paul Reed in 12 minutes is what he is. Pat Beverly, 14 minutes. I think he can give stability as a ball handler off the bench. Springer, 5 minutes of play. I'm just bringing this up because I could see down the road us hating some of these bench guys. I don't think everyone's going to love Hell, when Danny Green was here last, people were screaming to get him off the floor. So that's already one guy that you don't want out there years ago, and now he's here again. You're not going to like that. So basically, I think you're just saying you like Oubre, who popped off tonight, and Beverly's a solid ball handler pro. Fine. Are we overrating the bench because the bench was so bad before that now we're excited with below average? I'm just asking. I don't know. Maybe they're average. Maybe they are average. Maybe they have an average bench. But I'm just saying it was so tragic. But we do this all the time. Remember? It's like Andre Drummond, he's the best backup we ever had. Dwight Howard, he's the best backup we ever had. Seth Curry's the best shooter we ever had. It's always those type of statements so early on, and then it becomes, well, Seth Curry has the ankle, and he can never stay healthy. And, yeah, but he can put the ball in his hands and be this. And, well, it didn't really work out that way. And then he gets annihilated defensively by Herter in the Atlanta Hawks series. And, oh, man. One big rotation. I hate that I feel this way.
All right. Honestly, I am really not too mad. I will say, look, the refs were fucking off. Look, the Bucks, the whole game. The whole game.
I saw some things called on called on Embiid that I thought Giannis was terrible. Lowering his shoulder, just playing NFL football out there, it looked like Giannis did, yet somehow the refs called the foul on Joel Embiid. Just a disgrace. And then they seriously, on the broadcast, they knew they screwed up so badly, they had to come up with something that made no sense and said the ball slipped out of his hands. Slipped out of his hands. He took a shot, put little floater. He tried to shoot the basketball. He missed. He went underneath the basket and got his own rebound. That can't happen. It's bad. It's terrible. There's no way your job could be to call an NBA game and miss that, because that's the guy with the ball in his hands. How do you do that? How do you call that? How do you call that? How do you call that? Or excuse me, how do you not call that? How do you not call that? How do you not call that? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I didn't know if the Sixers played clean enough, though, to fully blame it on that, but it definitely didn't help. I look at Joel Embiid's turnover as the more than anything else, but it's 1A, 1B with the referees late. I'm not mad at how they played, though, by any means. It's just hard for me right now. But I promise you all I will be better. I promise you. I'm going to work on myself.
Hey, bros. This is Ricky from Jacksonville. Probably haven't gotten a phone call from Jacksonville, Florida, but yeah, I'm a diehard Sixers fan. I gotta say, I'm actually pretty happy with the performance. Nick Nurse's new system looks pretty good. I'm happy with the hire. I think a lot of the players played really, really well. I don't think anyone expected us to beat Milwaukee, and I think we played pretty damn good. I think actually the biggest downside was maybe Joel Embiid's decision making, which I know he's a slow starter, so hopefully, we'll kind of get into, the typical Joel Embiid form or whatever.
Isn't that a problem, though? And I love Joel. And the answer is not to get rid of him. And the answer is not to trade him. And the answer is not any of those options at all. But isn't that a problem? Because it's year, what? of Joel. And I feel that applies to a bunch of games. Always. Joel Embiid's turnovers, Joel Embiid's decision-making, late down the stretch. I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Should I, though? No, I probably shouldn't. Because I'm just basing it off of what they've given to me over the last few years. It's not like they've been winning world championships, and I'm over here going, yeah, but, right? I don't know. It's just game one, and I would like to be more optimistic for the season. I'm just sad. I'm sad that I'm here. I'm with everybody else. Here we go again. The Sixers have to save our sanity, you know? But look, there is good value betting-wise. I took Tyrese Maxey over his point total, and you can go on MyBookie and check out all these fantastic odds. MyBookie promo code BROADS gets you a fantastic deposit bonus that you don't want to miss out on. So in regards to emotions as a fan, sure, I might feel a certain type of way, but emotions when it comes to making money and betting on these games, it's a different beast, and I can't stop. So I looked at DeAnthony Melton, I looked at Joel Embiid, and I looked at Tyrese Maxey, all for their point totals today. And you can too, and I want you to join me. There's so many fantastic odds boosts, and there's a MyBookie money bag currently running where you can get crazy stupid odds like plus 38,000 on Eagles Chiefs in a Super Bowl matchup. They have so much stuff that you do not want to miss out on, but the only way you can get to it is by signing up. Information down below in the description. MyBookie, promo code BROADS. Check it out now. I love you guys to death. We'll be talking very soon. I'll talk to y'all on the next one.